Well, it's 1 in the morning, Friday morning, early Saturday morning. And this is actually a daily thing I do. I've actually been doing it for about, it's been over 4 years now. It's been about 4 years and 3 months since I've been doing this. And it's honestly taking a lot longer than I thought, mainly because my work hours make it really hard for me to get stuff done as far as getting cats fixed and put back, or fixed and get homes. And unfortunately, a couple of the cats actually came down to, believe it or not, one female cat behind the grocery store that I had to catch. She got out of my trap twice because I was using a remote trigger trap, which unfortunately, if I would have used a regular trap, she would have easily been caught. But the problem with the remote trigger is when you pull the remote to close the trap, there's this metal bar that slides on the metal, so it's like a metal on metal sound, and it just gave her enough time to beat the trap both times. And the reason why I was using that is because I was trying to catch specific cats without, cats being around to see it. So the cat would be in there eating for a while, and when another cat around it would disappear, I would close the trap. And unfortunately, there was an adjustment on the metal bar, where I could have made the bar smaller, to where it would have been less drag across the metal. Unfortunately, there was a lot of issues with that thing as far as it making noise, and it was pretty stupid. You would think in this day and age it would be a much better device for a remote trigger, remote trap. And it's pretty sad that, I'll give you an example. These traps, they're all like basically cages. So when a cat gets caught, they have 10 hooks on their feet basically, and they get their, they freak out, and they got their hook, they got their claws out, so they're ejecting themselves all over the cage. And a lot of times I'll catch these cats and they have cuts on their faces, specifically underneath their eyes. They're bleeding because the eye socket, the bone, keeps hitting the cage. Now, and another thing is, now if you're gonna have a remote trigger trap, I've thought about actually inventing something, because these traps are just, come on, look at the year. This isn't 1950 anymore, and these traps really haven't evolved much. For example, why would the bottom of a trap be a cage? Why can't it be like a super slick bottom? For one, that would increase the chance of a cat not being able to get out of a trap, because for one, they'd be slipping on the bottom of the trap. And then two, when they do get caught, they're not going to flip out, and even if they do flip out, they're not going to be able to get their feet in there and dig in and bounce all over the place and hurt themselves. So a trap with a slick bottom, lightweight surface. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there where you can have a flat surface and it'd be very, very lightweight. And even the sides of the cage, I mean, even halfway up the cage would be enough. And I mean, these cages are just retarded. I'm sorry. There's got to be come on. Okay, I'm sorry about my rant, but this is what I do every day. Plus, I work full time. This actually affects my regular job, which is not good. But my passion is this, and it cost me a lot of money, and I've missed a lot of work. But so what I do, this is the area where I drove back. I passed it. I'm gonna drive around. Or I get a ticket. So this is what happened. 4.5 years ago, I dropped off some boxes. This is my story. In case you're wondering, I should probably speed it up. So I drove back here behind this area, behind this grocery store, busy grocery store. Usually there's a lot of 18-wheelers back here, but this time of night, especially on the weekends, I don't think they have a lot of deliveries. But I drove back here, and I saw nothing but cats all over the place. I mean, all over the place. And I don't know if you can see this, but a lot of them lived in here. Well, this major pigeonhole thing. There's like a cooler back. Let me back this up. I'll give you a little story about this. See, someone's actually feeding them. You can see. I don't know if you can see the food, but it's a safe spot for the cats. But it's also an area. See, a cat just crawled out. Hey, actually, I'm trying to catch that one. Hey, buddy. I'm gonna try and catch that one right now. That's actually a kitten. Some bitch. Let me pull over. Hey, buddy. Yep, that's the cat I'm trying to catch. That's a kitten. See what I mean? Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Damn. All right, so yeah, I need to catch that one, and then there's one more I gotta catch. But yeah, so what happens is you saw the cat crawl out of there. Now there was a ton of them. Now the bad thing about that area, I'll put it back there. The bad thing about that area, and I move. The bad thing about this area right there is there's a bunch of coolers back there and some moving equipment. And some guy that does the cleaning back there will occasionally put a dead cat where we feed them. He'll just lay the cat, instead of walking it over right here and putting it in the dumpster, he'll be an asshole and put a mangled cat right on top of our food and water dish. Yeah. You know, that complete asshole. So, I mean, that's happened probably 5 times. That's why I don't like the cats going in there, because something happens. I've never been back there, but who knows, maybe they die, or maybe they get sick and die, but I think there's actually some type of moving parts. So anyway, I'm gonna try and catch that kitten, and then there's one more back here, one more kitten somewhere. For some reason, all 4 of them scattered from the mother like months ago. And so that's my thing. I come back here, I feed probably about 4 or 5 cats, and then I go over in front of the store. There's a McDonald's. There's 2 cats that I feed, and then I go across the street, and there's 3 more cats I feed. Those are all fixed. There's 1 cat by McDonald's that needs to get fixed. It's been taking me about 3 years. And then there's another cat back here. 1 female that needs to be caught. And then unfortunately, on the other side of this grocery store, I was told that all the cats were fixed. That's not the case. And there's probably about 3 to 4 more cats I gotta catch. I caught one of them that was 7 or 8 months old, or 7 or 8 years old. He was already fixed, but his hair was so matted. And he's been living in my house for about 2 to 3 months now. He is a sweet cat, but he's very inconsistent. He'll start like hissing and swatting. But it's unfortunate because he's really a sweetheart. And unfortunately, whoever had him fixed a long time ago should not have put him back outside, because he was a sweetheart then, I'm sure. But anyway, that's what I do. I do this every morning. It's heartbreaking sometimes, and also go to one area where there's about 6 other cats that I feed. I give them wet food. It gets very expensive, and affects my sleep, obviously. But anyway, that's my routine, and I'd love to get these 2 cats back here caught. That would be like a major relief off my shoulders. And I'm going to try and catch this 1 cat right now that you just saw crawl out. She's about 6 months old. All right. Wish me luck. Bye.